everyone. So today I'm gonna solve May 2023, which is Edexcel IAL IT Unit 1. So move to the question 1, which is a magazine is published on a website as well as on paper. The use of information technology system has associated legal issues. State what is meant by the term copyright. So the thing is that copyright means actually it provide a guarantee that other people can use their other people if other people are using their work, they can give their name, so it guarantees the honor of the work. So the answer will be guarantees that nobody can use work without permission from the owner. Like you guys can use their work, but you have to mention their name. So this is one of the example of a copyright. Complete the table to name the legal issue associated with each situation. So number one situation is a member of staff uses the magazine editor's password to access the editor's email. So when someone is trying to access the editor's email, that means it is a misuse, right? Without their permission, they're using their email. So this one is actually one of the example of a computer misuse. The other one is the individual responses of readers from a 1983 survey are stored in a warehouse. That means the individual's data or whatever the record that is stored in a warehouse. So this is an example of a data protection. The new magazine logo is found online and copied by another organization. So this is found online and then it is copied by another organization. So that means it is the one of the example of a copyright. Customers use a web browser to read the magazine and also to manage their account. State one reason why the use of encryptions make data more secure. Encryption is actually convert the file or whatever the text number, anything that are sending to the server, they are just changes the informations with something code. They added some of the code inside that information, so that if some hacker try to hack that particular file during the time it passes through the server, they can able to understand. So only people with the key can access the data. That's why they are providing the encryption technique. Like in WhatsApp, you guys can see that they are always mentioned that data are encrypted, right? So this is one of the example. So when I'm sending a certain text to some of my friend who have the WhatsApp, so that friend have that key to access this particular file or text that I am sending to them, right? Now the question number 2 is the website use a feature that allows reader who pay in an additional fee to access video interviews. Identify these features of the website. So that means they are paying additional fee to see the video. That means this is not a firewall. Firewall is actually work as a filtration of the malware or viruses, right? Media access control, no. Pay per click is when you pay, you get when you click, you get some amount of money. This one is a paywall. Paywall means you have to pay to get some of the information from the internet. Web pages use both client-side and server-side scripting. State two tasks carried by client-side scripting. So what will be the two tasks that is carried by client-side scripting? The number one is sending requests for web pages to web server. So they are sending request from using web page to the web server. The second is rendering pages received from web server. So whatever the request they are doing to the web server and the web server give us the response, then it rendered pages received from web server, right? So it displays whatever the web servers getting through our request. Then state two tasks carried out by server-side scripting. So now we have to think about what is the task that is done by server-side scripting. Number one is building a dynamic web page. Why? Because dynamic web pages, the content is continuously changing, whereas the static web page is the content is not changes continuously. Like one of the example of a dynamic web page is if you go to the Facebook, you log in, right? They can check your username and password, and then they can return that, okay, login successful, similar like that. If you can post something, you can save something. So one of the simple thing is that for the dynamic web page, the database is connected to it, whereas the static, there is no database connected. The other example is fulfilling requests sent by client, right? So the server side scripting, the task is whatever the request the client send to them, they try to fulfill that things. Now the question number D is, one magazine article is presented as a video. The video takes 7 minutes to download. The mean network speed is 50.4 megabits per second. The formula to calculate the file size is this. Construct an expression to show how the video is in GB byte. You do not need to do the calculation. So remember one thing, when they're saying that you do not need to do the calculation, don't try to do the calculation, just show the expression of the calculation, right? With the calculation, which is, it is saying that the video takes 7 minutes to download, right? So that means we have to convert the 7 minutes to seconds. So the answer will be similar like 77 into 60, which convert this to second, right? Then the mean network speed is 50.4 megabit per second. So we have to convert this to GB byte. So try to remove this mega. So when I want to just take out this mega, what we have to do? We just need to 50.4 into mega, for mega is 1000, right? 1000 into 1000. Then they're saying that the formula to calculate the file size is file size in bit, transfer time in second into speed in bit per second. So our transfer time in second, we already calculated 7 into 60, and speed in bit per second. So this is the bit per second, right? We remove the m, so this one is bit per second. So that means we get the both things. So file size in bits can be file size in bits is 70 into 60, right? Into this part. So that one is 50.4 into 1000 into 1000. This one is we already completed the file size, but they're saying that construct an expression to show how big the video in GB byte. So we have to convert this to GB byte. So converting this to GB byte, what we have to do? For GB, we all know GB is 1024, right? Because this one is bit per second. This one is bit per second. So we need to convert this to GB byte. Then the answer will be, this one will be the same, 50.4 into 1000 into 1000. But when you want to convert this bit to byte, we have to divide it by 8. We all know, right? Then from this portion, we have to change it to GB. So that means for GB is a 1024 into 1024 into 1024. So this will be the expression. So I hope you understand. If you don't understand, please try to write in the comment section. So that's the end of question 1. Thank you. So now we will start the question number 2, which is organization uses a range of digital devices and IT systems. State 2 factors that can be used to assess the performance of digital devices. So how the performance of a digital devices is improving? One of the thing is storage. If your devices have more storage, your laptop or computer or mobile is much more faster. The other one is battery life, right? Because battery is also one of the factor that is fall under the performance, because if you have more battery life, you can use your laptop for a longer time. question number B is IT system have four conceptual elements. One of the conceptual elements is people. Give to other conceptual element of an IT systems. So inside your IT system chapters, you guys can see there is a type of IT conceptual elements. So other two type are, one is software, the other one is hardware and software. Search and rescue team use portable devices when searching for people lost in the mountain. Explain how a GPS device owned by a search dog helps rescuer to find a lost person. So this is a simple question, simple general thing, like how you guys know the GPS is working. So the thing is that a GPS device can be used to track the location of the search dog, right? So when the dog find the hiker, the rescuer know where to go because they just set the dog free, and the dog will search the rescuer like where the specific person, lost person is. So from that, there is some devices where they can see where the dog GPS is going on, so the rescuer can able to see if they see the dog are sitting at a certain position for a longer time, so that time they try to find out, okay, maybe the dog finds something. Then question number 2 is drones are used by search and rescue teams. Shows an image of a drone. So this is the image of a drone. One digital component of a drone is a GPS module. Name two other digital component of a drone. So we all know that drone has one of the camera, right? So it is mostly used for taking the picture, selfie and everything. And beside that, it also have a sensor. So how the sensor is working, right? When it is landing to the down to the ground, the sensor can detect that there's something below it, and it try to open up its stand, something like that, landing stand. So this thing is open up by using the sensor when it is trying to find out that there's a something above or below them, similar like that. So one of the answer is sensor, the other one is camera. IT is used for environmental monitoring in mountain areas. For example, sensors are used to monitor snowfall so that avalanches can be predicted. Explain one other use of IT for environmental monitoring. So the thing is that one of the other thing can be the sensor is used to monitor rainfall so that the flood can be predicted. Sensor can also use to monitor the fire alarm as well, similar like that. So there's so many things you guys can write. The sensor can be used. Total mark for question 10 is 2 is 10, and this is the end of question 2. Before continue to question number 3, in the description below, you guys can join our community. Like we have a community for community in WhatsApp and Discord, as well as you can join our Facebook group as well. Besides that, if you want to get some, latest notification, you can join my Edexcel IAL page as well. So question number 3 is the retail industry uses many different types of computer. An electronic point of sales EPOS system is a computer with several different peripherals connected to it. Figure 2 shows an image of an EPOS system in a store. Name two peripheral attached to the EPOS system. That means try to write all the peripheral that is inside the pictures. Don't try to write outside the pictures like mouse or similar like that, because there is no mouse. So in this picture we can see that there is one scanner, or other one can be printer, or it can be the keyboard, right? So the answer will be printer, or you guys can write scanner or keyboard. Next question is, an operating system is a software application. Describe the role of the operating system in managing a peripheral devices. So what is the role of the operating system in managing a peripheral devices? So actually the operating system, they identify the type of devices, and based on that the computer and the software are trying to work together, right? So the answer is the operating system recognizes the devices and facilitates communication between software application and the devices. So it create a communication between them. It actually it gives a path so that they can communicate with each other. Question number 2 is describe the role of the operating system in managing processes. So for operating system, this is one of the most common question that mostly come, like what of the how the operating systems work. So there is 4 to 5 processes that operating systems work. So you guys can go through the notes and identify how the operating system is working. So here it manages processes like ensure that every task has an equal chance set by its priority is held in a queue while waiting. That means our computer or operating system can't do multitask at a time. So what happened? Whatever the task we request first, so it is set to the higher priority compared to the second task. So based on that, it always make sure that every task are getting the equal chance. So when the first task is completed, the next task that is on the queue or waiting, they can get the chance to finish. Question number C is figure 3 shows a vending machine that incorporates embedded systems. To make a purchase, the customer puts money into the machine and type in a product code. That means the customer firstly they see the money from here, like it already written on this label below the product that how much the price of each product. Okay, so based on that product, they write the price on the product by using the keypad, there it is, and then they give the money. The selected product is pushed forward if it is available, otherwise the customer is informed. That means if the product is available, there is a ring, actually there is a ring behind at each and every product. So when the product is available, the ring push that product forward and the product fall downward. Okay, and the product drops into the void at the bottom of the machine where the customer retrieves the product. Like there is a way from here the customer can able to able to move their hand inside, and from there they can take the product. So any change is given after the customer takes the product. That means if the price for the product is $5, the customer pay $10, then the processor for this vendor machine identify, calculate, and then they identify, okay, this is the amount of the product. Say they take the product amount and then they return the changes to the customer. Explain how the component with the embedded system allow the machine to take payment, supply the product, and give changes. So in this type of question is actually simple question. If you guys are using vending machine, you just think how the vending machine is working, right? How the processor is working, how everything is working. Just try to write how the machine is working. That's it. So this is not a tricky question. Okay, it's just a general knowledge question. You just try to write this question in a more computerized way. So the answer for the question is the customer insert money into the machine, which is then identified by the reader, right, and is stored temporarily. They enter a product code via the keypad and the operating system matches it with corresponding data in the machine's memory. That means inside the machine memory, they have the code for each product so that the operating system can identify which code is represented which product. The processor calculates if the money is enough and the change due. That means that there is a processor inside the machine that helps to calculate the money is enough or the customer will get the changes or not. If sufficient, the motor are activated to push the product. That means if the money is sufficient, then the motor is push the product forward and the product fall downward, right, to the places where the customer can easily access the product. The processor interrupts the changes and dispense it through a trapdoor mechanism. That means the processor give the changes and dispense it through a trapdoor mechanism. So there is a trapdoor mechanism where the customer can able to get the product. That's the answer. So move to question number 4, which is network enable communication and utility infrastructures. A device connects to two networks that use the same protocol at the data link layer 2 of the OSI model. Okay, the device reads MAC addresses and data is forwarded if necessary. Identify the name of these devices: half bridge, gateway, and router. So for these things, actually when you guys are study for TCP IP, please go through each of the layer and identify in which layer which type of router are working or which type of device is working. So I give you some of the answer. Hub is working on the physical layer. Gateway and router both are working on the network layer. Only the bridge are working on data link layer. So they are saying that which layer is working at the data link layer. So the bridge is the only thing that is working on the data link layer. So the answer will be question number B. So try to remember where each which type of devices work on each layer, because it will help you guys to solve a number of multiple question, because there can be a chance this type of multiple question can came. Describe one difference between bandwidth and speed. So bandwidth is actually the road that is provided by the internet so that data can pass through the road, right? If the number of road is greater, that means, like, suppose if I have 5 cars and I have 5 road, that means 5 car can go by using 5 road within 1 second, right? But if I have 1 road and I have 5 car, that means for passing that road 5 car need 5 seconds, because 1 car will go one by one. And speed is actually how fast the data come to the receiver. That's it. So the answer for this one is bandwidth is the total amount of data that can pass through the network in a given time. That means they are providing a given time which is 5 seconds. Within 5 seconds how much data can travel, that's the thing. But for speed, try to always include how fast, like include the fast thing inside. So that means whereas the speed is how fast the data is being transmitted. That means if the number of bandwidth is greater, it will be more speed, right? The speed will be more. So it is a quite proportional. Bandwidth is proportional to the speed. Now question number C is cloud storage allow user to store, access and synchronize their file using a browser or mobile application. Give 3 characteristics of cloud storage. So this is one of the most easiest question. One can be the cloud storage can be expanded as needed, right? Because now if I buy like 1 terabyte or 1 GB of the storage, in future if I need to store 2 GB storage, I can easily buy the storage from the cloud. I don't need to buy anything from my devices, because for the computer they have a specific range, right? That each and every computer they have 1 terabyte of storage. But if they want to increase, they don't have any option. That time what happened, they need to buy another devices. But for cloud storage, we don't need to buy any new devices. We just go to the internet and buy the extra storage that we needed. The other one is only available through an internet connection. The thing is that cloud storage is only available through an internet connection. So there is some advantage with this point, and also there is some disadvantage as well. The provider secures and backup store data on the cloud. That means we don't have to think about the security of the data, because whoever they're giving us the cloud storage is their responsibility to make our data more secure, right? Now move to question number D, which is the table shows situation involves the use of a network. Complete the table to give the type of connectivity, medium and signal for each situation. Some cells have been completed for you. That means some are completed, some are not completed, so you guys have to fill up. A computer and printer in a school share the same server. So same server they are using. Always try to identify what can be the answer. Here if you can see, this is a signal, right? Signal is giving us a hint that it is a electrical. Medium is a power line, is a type of medium. It can be air, it can be copper, what type of media that are using to pass the electricity. Connectivity, there is 2 connectivity. One is wire connectivity, the other one is wireless connectivity, right? For the signal, there is a electrical signal, radio signal, microwave signal, so many signals are there. So the first thing they are saying that computers and printers in a school share the same server. So if they are using the same server, what can be the connectivity? Same server, it is a wire connectivity, right? Computer and printer in a school share the same server, so it is a wire connectivity. What can be the medium? If it is a wire, that means the medium will be what type of Ethernet cables uses inside their inside their body is as a barrier. It is a either copper or optical fiber, but because we don't need any optical fiber, this is a normal printer and computer, so most of the time for this type of connection we uses copper. A laptop communicates with a wireless access point. A laptop communicate with a wireless access point. That means they are already mentioned is a wireless. So what will be the answer? Wireless. And how the wireless provide the medium? There is no medium, right? Wireless passing through the data by using air. And what can be the signal? What type of wave or things that the radio wireless laptop wireless like Wi-Fi are using? It's a radio. Two towns on either side of the Atlantic Oceans are connected, right? They're connected with wire. But for this wire, we need the Ethernet cable as well. But for these things that they are like the wire will be much more, more capable compared to copper. So there is a less chances of data loss, and it is quite expensive. So this for this type of purposes, they are mostly uses optical fiber. So because the two towns are connected in like below the Atlantic Ocean, right? So the answer will be fiber optic or optical fiber. So for the optical fiber, what type of signal they are using? Light. And artificial satellite beams signals to receiving dishes mounted on houses. That means this is actually a satellite. So how satellite connect? It's a wireless, right? Yes. The medium, what will be the medium? If it is a wireless, the medium will be air. And the signal, it is a radio or microwave. The answer is microwave. Why? Go to the notes and identify what's the difference between radio and microwaves. Okay, microwaves is mostly uses when the distance is quite higher. Radio is uses when the distance is shorter. Okay. Application in the home are connected to each other. So connected to each other, that means if they're connected to each other, that means it is a wire, right? And it is use a power line. Power line signal is electricity, electrical. Okay, so this is the answer for question number D. Inside your A-levels notes, if you guys go to, I think it's in hardware and software, there will be a chapter where you can get all the type of medium, all the type of copper, or where they are uses for passing the internet and what type of wave they are using. So try to remember each and everything and how much the speed they have, what is the difference and everything. So most of this question are coming in MCQ. There's a most of the chances, so it will be better. So we already completed question number 4. Now we will move to question number 5. So before moving to question number 5, I want to mention again, please join our WhatsApp community. And we have a Facebook page like Edexcel IAL. We have a Facebook group Edexcel IAL, where not only for inside the Facebook group or the WhatsApp community, you guys not only get the solution or the notes or the helpful tips for ICT, you guys also can get maths, physics, or chemistry, biology, something like that. Okay. To question number 5, which is train networks use IT systems to control access to secure areas in stations and operate timetables. So entrance to some areas of a train station is limited to authorized employee. These areas require an entity system that uses two-factor authentication. That means there is some areas that is only authorized by some of the employee, authorized employee, limited to them. All employees are not permitted to go there. These areas require an entry system that uses two-factor authentication. That means they need two-factor authentication to enter into that authorized places. So the thing is that for two-factor authentication, you already know that for Gmail we have a two-factor authentication, right? For Gmail, when we are enabling our two-factor authentication, what we have to do, we have to enter our password, then a second OTP is came to our phone, and based on that we are able to write that code on the given input field that is provided after they are giving us the OTP, and then they give us the permission to log into our Gmail, right? Employee have an identity badges with a magnetic stripe. They are not allowed to carry mobile phone while in the station. That means they can't able to carry their mobile phone. They have a magnetic stripe so that when they are swapping that on the card reader, they get the permission to go access. But due to two-factor authentication, they have to again type the password, or maybe they can scan their thumb, right? Then draw a flowchart for the entry system in the space provided on the opposite page. You must use the correct flowchart symbols. So always careful about the flowchart symbol, because the symbol carry a mark actually, and if your symbol are not correct, you won't get the mark even if your flowchart is better or a correct one. So let's continue with the diagram. So first thing they're saying that for our flowchart, we have a start, right? It's a simple like this. Then if our employee want to go to the pages, they have to swap the pages in card reader. So that means employee need to swap the pages. So for this one will be like this, the symbol. So when it is like something is doing by people, it will be similar like this. It's a rhomb word, I think. So here swap in card reader. Okay. After that, when the employee sweep pages in the card reader, what happened? The database is searching. Is it match the specific card badge is matching to the database or not? So this one is there. The system is processing, right? When a system is processing, always use rectangle for that thing. So this one is database. Search for matching page, right? And when a system is working, that means this is a rectangular. After that, what happened? After that, the system will process, right? The system, there will be a logical thing. If a system will find, what happened? If not find, then what happened? So for that one, for the logical thing, true or false, it will be like this kite. So if exist, there will be one which will be yes, and there will be the other one which will be no, right? If it is yes, then what happened? Try to give the error the last. If it yes, because it is a two-factor authentication, right? So if it's yes, that means system will ask to employee to the second step, to continue the second step, right? So second step can be thumb or can be the password, right? Ask for password. So it can be ask for password or can be biometric. Anything. So for this one is there is nothing processing. So this is a rhombus, something like that. When a employee give the password, because after the system ask for this, the employee need to give the password or something, right? Or thumb the scanning their thumb and similar like that. So whatever they did after that, the system will proceed. So here again it will be rectangular. So whatever the pin provide pin as scanning here, right? And then again the logic part will come. If pin correct, if pin is correct, then there will be a part for the yes, there will be a part for the no. So the thing is that if it's yes, so what will happen? They will give the employee to enter, right? So that means this is again a rhomboid. Door open, right? Door open. Otherwise, if it's no, then it is denied. Access is denied. So here I can write ACCESS. Access is denied. So this are no, this is also access is denied, right? And always remember there is one point which is stop. This is, so when door is open, the system is stop. When access denied, system again is stop. So this is the flowchart for the question number 5. So there is one of the common thing which is start and stop. For the logical part, logical means when there is a yes or no, it will be in kite shape. Always thinking about how the system is processes. When a system is processed, it must be in rectangular. Okay, so that's the question number 5. Let's move to question number 2 then. B is each train has a route from first station to last station. Each train has a driver. Here is a partially completed entity relationship diagram. Complete the diagram by adding a name for the entity. To relationships and relationship types, primary key must be underlined. Foreign key must have an asterisk. That means a star. So the thing is that for primary key, we have to identify the primary key using an underline. Here they already mentioned the name of the primary key with underline, right? And for the foreign key is an asterisk. So foreign key is actually when we take the other table primary key to a new table, that is become a foreign key. If I take this driver code to this table, it is become a primary key. So first of all, they are saying that a name for the entity. That means we have to identify the name for this table. They already mentioned here each train has a route from first station to last station. That means every train have a route, right? Each train has a driver. Driver is already here, train is here, but route is not here. So for this entity, it must be route. Then they're saying that to relationship and relationship type we have to mention. So because this is a route, the primary will be route ID. Because this one is a train code, this one is driver code. You can also write a route code or maybe the route name. Doesn't matter. So I write it as a route ID and it is a primary key. Then I take the train code because they mentioned that each train has a driver, each train has a route as well. So obviously train will come to the route. And obviously each route, if the train has the route, then the train has the driver as well. So that means the driver code is also be here. I give asterisks is because I take the primary key of other table, right? And for this table, this is a foreign key. Then they also mentioned that each train has a route from first name to last name. So that means route has a first station to last station. That means there will be a name for first station and the last station. After that, we have to identify the relationship. So always try to include the line is a one to many if the train code is inside the train route, right? Route entity, route table. That means there is a relationship with train and route. Is a one to many because train primary key is one, whereas when it comes to a foreign, it can be many. So it's one to many. But for the driver, also the driver code is here, right? So there will be another one to many. But there will be no relation with train and driver because none of the primary key is connected to driver. Always remember that. When a primary key is taken by other table as a foreign key, there must be a relationship connected to that. So for this thing, if you look closely, you can see that this train code is the primary key for the train. We take the train code which is a primary key for train, to our root table, and it become foreign key. So obviously there's a connection between train and root. So when the relation is coming from this, always remember where it is coming from. This is the primary key, right? Primary key, here is a foreign key. So like from the table where it is coming as a primary key, there must be one. And when it is coming as a as a foreign key, it must be many. Similar like that. Okay. Now the question number C is, due to a problem on the track, all train from 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 are cancelled. 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 station codes begin with the letter OHS. This, right? The database include this table. So the database are provided this table. Write an SQL statement to remove the train from 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 from the table. That means we have to remove all the train which is from 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶. So for removing, we are using delete as our syntax for SQL. Then we have to find out from which table, right? So the table is table arrival. So that means from table arrival, we will remove all these things. Then they mention that code begin with OHS. That means we have to find out all the code where it is started from. That means the answer will be where. Where? Source station. Which? This is the source station, right? From this source station, from the table arrival, the column or the field source station equals to, right? Or maybe you guys can write equals to, or maybe like OHS percentage. Why? Because when we give the percentage after OHS, that means this one will be the first word for each and every word. This one will be the first three words. So they will go through the where station field and search OHS for each and every word first sentence. 3 sentences. That means this is one of the OHS, it will be deleted. This is the another one, it will be deleted, right? So this will be the answer, and we already completed question number 5. Which is, organization uses a variety of tool and technique to manage process and data. Explain one way data flow diagram are used by the organization. That means why the data flow diagram they're using in the organization. So the answer is, a DFT is easily understood because it illustrates processes and the flow between them. So the thing is that if you go to a normal client people, like the people who are working as a database engineer or they are making their database, it is easier for them to understand by using the query language, database query language, or even when they talk with each other. But when they are trying to visualize these things with, the head of the department or maybe the CEO, they are not that much technical, don't have that much related to database and all. It is quite harder for them to know how the process is working. For that thing, they are preparing a visualized type of diagram, which is a DFD, is a data flow diagram. So it makes it easier for the people who are not technically expert, that type of people, to understand how the process is going on and give them a better understanding about the data flow diagram, okay, how the data will be flowing inside the system. So this will be the answer for this question. Now question number B, which is a 12-mark question. That is, a bus company is conducting a new initiative to ensure it effectively and efficiently serves its customer and its stakeholder. The company has decided to structure its data and store it in a database. Evaluate the decision. You could consider the data collected and stored by the bus company, then the benefit and drawback of structuring the bus company data, the value of the bus company of the information that can be extracted from the data. So in a simple way, they are saying that the stakeholder of the bus company decided that, okay, we have all the bus detail and everything on our paper that we did manually. Now we are thinking that we will shift all these things to our database. So when they are shifting all these things to the database, it will be on a structured way, right? They have to set it on a structured way inside the database. They have to put all these things to the database from the manual part. So during that time, from your side, they are asking, you can give the question based on this answer based on this question, which is they are saying the data is collected and is stored by the bus company. So what type of data can be collected and stored by that bus company? So when they are trying like put the data field, because when we are doing a database, we have to first mention about the data field, right? What type of data we want to collect inside our database. It can be the bus name, the bus timing to start, bus timing to, end, similar like that. What's the name of the passengers, where it will be going, similar like that. How much time it will take to reach there. So there are so many information. This is actually the general question that you guys have to identify during the time of answer this 12 mark question. So it's not only focused on IT. There's some general thing as well, because when this type of question comes, just think about how the thing is processes in our daily life as well. Now, the second thing is they're asking the benefit and drawback of structuring the bus company data. So how the stakeholder or the people get the benefit. And obviously, for the manual thing, when a person came and asked, "Can you check what was my last date I take the bus? Can you search based on my name because I need that data?" So it will be quite harder for the bus employee, right? Whoever the working, because they have to go through the each and every paper notebook to find out which date he traveled. But for the database, if there's a database, they just need to go to the computer and just search their name. Within a second, they can view everything, every detail about him. And this is one of the advantage. What can be the drawback? The drawback can be because obviously it is costly, right? Because the paper are not that much costly. But for the database thing is like they have to buy the cloud database or whatever they want to buy the database. They have to buy the storage where they want to save the data. And beside that, they also have to need a trained employee, right? If they want to buy an employee who know about database, their salary might be higher. Or even if they want to, train their current employee, that one also expensive because they have to train them. This is one of the drawbacks. The value for the company, bus company, of the information that can be extracted from the data. So now they're asking what type of value, like what type of thing that they can be extracted from the data. The thing is that from the data, now they can use that data because there is so many data will be storing on the database. So based on that, they can easily identify, okay, which time in the year the sale is quite higher. So if the sale is quite higher and which of the month the sale is quite lower, right? When the sale is lower, they can provide some promotion during that time. So for the database, when they get a database, they can extract this type of valuable information with the data. That with the manual thing and with the people knowledge can able to do that. So this is one of the valuable things they can extract it from the data. So I'm writing this answer, maybe it is quite bigger, but I give you the answer is a bit big because so that you can know more. But after that, you guys can customize by your own, own understanding, because I already explained what the thing is meaning of this question. And always include conclusion for 12 mark question. Just remember these things. So the first question is the data collected and stored by the bus company. So we'll focus on this. So the answer for this is, in a bus company database, information is stored about to ride the bus. Who ride the bus, right? Like the name of the bus driver, like age and where they live, similar like that. How they travel, which route they take and when. I already mentioned you like how they travel, that means which road they will take and when the bus will start, tickets they buy, right? How many tickets is sell on that particular bus, how much ticket, sorry, the total number of ticket sales, the route the buses follow, when they run, similar like that. Then the benefit and drawback of structuring the bus company data. So what will be the benefit? The benefit is organizing data helps keep it neat and easy to find, right? Saving time, like I already mentioned, when someone come and ask for, some of the information, they can easily, within 1 second, they can find the information. And effort when needing the right information. But getting everything set up and running smoothly can be costly at first, right? At first, they have to need money for technology training and people to manage it. But When people are used to it, it will be quite easier. The value of the bus company of the information that can be extracted from the data. So what will be the expected? The expected is also the detail obtained from organization data can provide useful insight into market trend, right? How the customer behave, how well things are running, how things are performing. For example, by studying ticket sales data, it's possible to figure out when people travel the most and where they like to go. I already mentioned about the other thing is like when the sale is lower, they can provide the promotion. You can also write it similar line. This helps the company adjust its service to make more money. Then at the last, we have to provide a conclusion, which is in conclusion, structuring and storing data in a database can provide numerous benefit for a bus company, including improved decision making and enhanced customer experience, right? So this is the end of question 6. Best of luck for your exam, which is on I think 9th May, right? So go through. I already uploaded most, I think 3 of the question paper. Maybe in few before 9 I will upload another year as well. So try to go through the questions, and you guys have a specification for the A levels unit 1. Go through everything one by one of the specifications. So and identify that you know each and everything, because for IT we don't have any book, right? So best of luck. Thank you. Please subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.